Hello farmers and welcome back to the hills of Tuscany. We got so much drilling to do in the springtime. I think today it's time to hire some help to get us along the way. Let's get started. But before we get started on the drilling, well, I got some more grapes I gotta take care of. These are the white grapes on the southern side of the vineyard. Won't take me that long to get it on done. I still will have to do the ones on the hill, but I will try to get those done in between episodes at some point. The grapes haven't started to regrow as of yet, which is just a little bit weird, because the calendar says this is the time to plant them, but I guess they don't start growing until later on. At least I hope so. Well, I mean, they did last year, so I'm not worried about it. Just seems kind of odd to me. But I'm kind of new to the grape scene. I'm going to rip up this soil a little bit so we get a better yield. Guess I'm not really sure, other than knocking down the weeds and the grass from growing as much. I guess that's why you would subsoil it in between the grapevines, but I thought that's why we mulch. I don't know. Plowing is part of it, I guess. Because we're not actually replanting the vines. If anyone knows about real grape work, is this something you have to do every year, subsoil? Maybe it stirs up the nutrients in the soil. I have no idea. But once we get this done, we will be jumping back over by production lane. We're going to be in the Challenger, the Anaconda, and we're going to be planting the sugar beet. Meanwhile, we'll get one of the Franks in the Lamborghini with the potato planter and start planting potatoes over by the beehives. Now, this year, we are going to have 2 potato fields, the same ones we had last year. But, yeah, the one that we're going to be starting today as well. I thought about doing vegetables today, but we can't do vegetables until April. So that's going to have to wait another month. Oh, and I do need to swing over. I should do it right after I get done with the grapes if I can remember to do so. I need to swing over to the dairy and move the pallets. The storage point is getting kind of full, and we got a lot of milk left over to still be processed into butter and cheese. So I want that production to keep on going. I was looking at the stock market page, which tells us how much money we can get for our items. And clothing is going to be very good for us. I think with the clothing, I'm going to put that all towards the loan side of things. I think, yeah, we're going to be just shy of $175,000 worth of clothing. So that's going to be a big help. Although, last month, when we slept through the night, we did not lose as much money as I thought we were going to. I'm not really sure how that wind turbine is working down there. Before I look at this, let me turn around and make sure I get into the right row so I know where I'm at. I want to see, I don't know on our not stock market page, on our economy page, the wind turbine should be on its own category, I think. Let's scroll around here. So biogas income, yeah, it's going to vary. We're not selling products. Property income. Yeah, 17, then 18, then 30,000, then 23, and now 22. So that wind turbine is this. I'm guessing it probably has to do with the weather itself. Now, the solar panels, we know when the sun goes down, it stops collecting energy. But I'm guessing this right here, the wind speed matters. April is 8 miles an hour, so maybe, I don't know how it's calculated, I guess, with the wind turbine. So is it going to be like 10 miles an hour where you get 100% of the profits if it's only 3 miles an hour? We might only get like 30% of the profits of the wind turbine. I don't know. So give me the windy days over and over again, will you please? That'd be great. Speaking of not great, what's going on here? Do you want to shift gears, or what are you doing here? Not sure what's going on with my Antonio Cario. There it goes. Now it wants to go. It's done that a few times here in the hills of Tuscany. Is it due for repair? It shouldn't be. Currently no damages, at least it doesn't think it has any. And 9 months until it gets inspected again. So I mean, it should be fine. Already starting to pile on the hours on the Antonio Cario. We're almost up to 6 hours. I think about an hour of that was trying to get course play to work in the beginning, where I was screwing up some things. But now that I kind of got it all settled and going, we're good to go. Yeah, the Colossal Pack, I have talked about the Colossal Pack a few times for doing the orchards, grapes, and olives. That mod has been out now for, I would say, a month, if not maybe just a little bit more. But you could use this type of implement right here, but it'll do like 4 rows at a time. It's either 4 or 5. I can't remember. I'm just choosing not to do it currently because I want to just show grapes being done the way it's intended to be done, I guess, without any specific mods. Maybe once we get further on down the line here in the hills of Tuscany, maybe I will go ahead and get the Colossal Pack mod to where it can do 4 rows at a time. But since we don't have that big of a vineyard, I don't think it's that necessary. But in the future, once the money is pretty much settled here, and maybe that field that's in front of us, and I convert that maybe over into an entire vineyard, maybe we'll go with the Colossal Pack. I'm not sure if anyone's using the Colossal Pack. Is it compatible with course play? That'd be kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it. Just got to skip a few rows. Come on, Antonio Cario, you got it in you. Yep, we are getting the sides as well, just to be sure. Alright, and that just leaves this vineyard right over here, which I will do, like I said, off camera. I think we've seen enough of me subsoiling the grapes. There, we get that all set. Put that down as well. Alright, let's jump over to the dairy, and I'll be using some super strength for this. Actually, I don't even know how heavy these pallets technically are. They are 965 kilograms, so technically I shouldn't be able to lift these up. Yeah, as I bring around the Rosie here, I don't know really where I want to stack this stuff. Is the best price for all this in the same month because I'll sell it at the same time? Or does it matter? Because as I learned, our auto loader, I can grab specific pallets if I want to. Just got to make some room so the dairy production can keep on going. Yeah, showing the best price in October now for this stuff. I can't remember when we started the dairy production, maybe right at October. So we didn't have nothing to sell anyways. Now we're not being too realistic by letting this stuff sit out in the sun for about a year before we sell it. But that is what we're going to be doing. How much? These are 1,000 liters a piece. Okay. I was going to say, how many liters are in these? At least it's not like the wine barrels that are only like 340. And it gave me stacks and stacks upon stuff. Alright, so there we go. We still got 39,000 liters of milk to be processed. And currently, our cows, how are they doing? on the milk status. That's the sheep. That's the cows. They're up to 20,000 liters already. And we do have newborns in there. So the milk eventually will start going much, much faster. All right, let's get back over to the farm itself. And we'll jump into the Lamborghini. Fire it up. And let's go get our potato planter. And we will fill this up with seed. Let's see if I back up in here, if this is going to be close enough to fill up. You can see we got 4 pallets sitting up there. Whoops. Wait, do I have to unfold this to load up seed? I can't remember. You think the amount of times I used it on hinterland, I would know. And it's taking the seed, as we can see, perfectly. I mean, the seed is sitting here. Might as well take it. It's free. Am I close enough to get the other 2? No, we are not. But we can go ahead and just slide it across. There we go, 100%. So we'll wiggle our way around here. Do I need fuel? I think we're good on fuel for now. I don't think I've bought any fuel for the fuel tank in the farm itself. Just down the road is the fuel station anyways. So this field should be all set to be planted. So I'll make sure that completely unfolds before I start setting up course play. Create job. Go that way. Open up course. 1 tool. 3 headlands is probably good. Alright, and then get a worker. And Frank Jr. will be taking over planting the potatoes. Ooh, are you going to be able to get up that hill? It has enough power to do the planter. The question is, going uphill doesn't have enough. Alright, looks like it's all good. We'll let Frank Jr. get along with it. We're going to have to fertilize this twice, right? Because we don't have any fertilizer in the planter. Let me just double check that, make sure it's not actually putting down any fertilizer. And yeah, we're not seeing nothing. So we're going to have to fertilize that twice. I can fertilize it today after the planting gets done. And then we'll have to wait for the crop to germinate 1 stage, and then we can plant it again. But meanwhile, we're going to rip through this field right over here. It will not take us long at all. Get the sugar beet in. Yeah, we just, we need more sugar. And this field here will do rather well. I really need more sugar than this as well, but we only got so many fields. So I'll have to get by with what we got. So we got the lime down, so that should be good for about 3 years. 3 harvests is usually what it's good for, so 1 harvest per year. And of course we are getting a stage of fertilization in as we plant. And also we are now rolling and mulching along the way. Driving an articulated tractor. Once you've been in a regular tractor and then jump into articulated one, it takes a second, for me at least, to get used to the steering once again. So by modding our planter to now mulch and roll, if it needs either or, it's always going to need rolling. But as for mulching, I don't think so. But yeah, it's going to give us the full 100%, I would think. But I'm not going to be able to turn here all the way, am I? Well, with an articulated tractor, you sure can. All right, let's get a little bit of this headland done. And with these olive trees staying here, there's no way to currently remove them unless you go into GE Editor, as far as I know. Maybe when I use the Colossal Pack, or if I use the Colossal Pack further on down the road, we can use it on these olives over here. Now, there is a separate plant for the olives to make olive oil. It's not the same oil plant that does our canola and sunflowers, so if I want to make oil with the olives, I'll have to buy a separate plant. But not only will I have to buy the equipment to do the olives, I would also have to buy the harvester as well, or lease it. But as I mentioned, I really don't want to lease anything on this series because we do have, well, we did have loads of money. We did have $10 million, but someone spent it all. Won't say who. But I'd rather not lease anything unless it's a one-off, meaning if I just need a piece of equipment just for one time only. Something I wouldn't use in the future over and over again. Not sure what that would be at this point, but yeah, if it's just a one-off, then we'll lease it for that one day and return it and be done with it. But currently everything that we got, we're going to be using all the time. Planting right up to these houses here. I had to, when I was setting this up before I started recording, when I was scrolling through the categories of what I was planting, you just got to be a little bit careful between the sugar beet and the parsnip. The icon looks almost similar. Well, it is pretty much similar. The only difference really being the sugar beet icon is a little bit more plump compared to the parsnip. The parsnip is kind of the same thickness as the carrot icon, where the sugar beet is has a little bit more bulk to it. No, one thing, the sugar beet seed, we are going through that rather quickly. Don't remember if I did any upgrades for the seed and fertilizer tank. Well, if I have to go back to the farm to top off a seed, we shall. It's not like it's too far on down the road. Let's see, there's Frank Jr. Are you making your first lap or your second lap? Might be finishing up his second lap. Hard to tell. At least from here, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I am noticing with this planter here, this modded planter that we have, usually I do believe, unless I'm mistaken on this, if I was drilling on a part that we've already planted, usually it doesn't take the seed out of the planter or the drill, but this one is. So as long as the planter is down, there is seed and fertilizer going into the ground. So I am wasting a little bit of seed and fertilizer every time I turn around. Don't worry about the white marks being left behind by the wheels. Those will slowly disappear. But the pieces I miss, I will have to go over those if I want to get all the sugar beet that I possibly can into the field. Now, I'm not really sure how much sugar beet we're going to get off this field here. But if we happen to get a lot, it might be wise, if we have the money, to buy one of the trailers where I can cut sugar beet into and then put that into the plant. That way we can make the sugar twice as fast. Although, as we see, or saw in last episode, the sugar plant has already gotten all the sugar beet that we had last year. So, you know, trying to get it to go through it faster with the amount that we harvested doesn't really matter, because now the sugar plant is sitting there with nothing to do because it has no material in it. And the other issue is the sugar beet trailers that cut the sugar beet into cut sugar beet. Those are kind of expensive as well. We're talking about like 100 grand for those. But this is a great planter that we have for what we're trying to do here on the hills of Tuscany. It does all the crops we want to do. The planting rate speed of 14 miles an hour is nice. Can't lie about that. But the one thing I may look into, if it's not too expensive, is upgrading the drill if possible so I can hold more seed. So before I continue on any further, let's go back up to the farm and top this off. Yeah, Frank Jr., I think he's struggling a bit with the Lamborghini going uphill with the potato planter. But he'll get the job done. And once that field is done, we'll have to move him on over to the other potato field. All right, let's open up the covers. All right, so fertilizer first. Am I not in the trigger? There we go, fertilizer. If I go forward, we'll get the seed next. That is like the easiest planter slash drill that I've ever refilled from those huts. When they both got fertilizer and seed capabilities, usually you got like to drive in, you get one, and then it can't sense the other one. But this one here seems to be doing rather well. Or maybe just on the other ones, I'm that terrible at it, and I couldn't get the right trigger at the right time. Alright, snake around here. But we just barely get through a lot of areas with the equipment that we have. The farm is kind of snug for what we do have for equipment, but it's not snug enough because we can snake our way through. Alright, let's finish up the rest of the sugar beet rather quickly here. So the sunflowers and all the vegetables will be done in April. So the field to the left, that's sunflowers. I think we decided on carrots on that long field, on both parts of it. And then the field over at the vineyard, I think I was putting red beets in that one. Is that what I was doing? Sounds good. Carrots and red beets, I know that much. We did parsnips last year. We did red beets as well. But since we got two fields for veggies, gotta pick two of them. Oh, I was like, why didn't it fertilize there? Because where it's not fertilizing, we're seeing the lighter soil color. This field, before we merged it, already had 2 stages of fertilization into it. Wait, they double fertilized it, but they didn't put a crop in the field? Is there a crop already was growing in there? No, there's no crop growing in the field that they had here. But it had both stages of fertilization into it. Alright, to each their own. You know, I didn't own the field when they were doing it, so I don't know what their plans were. But see, we're still using fertilizer as we go over the field, so I'm kind of wasting it. But not much I can do about it currently. He'll be fine. Yeah, part of me wants to take the money from the clothing in a couple months and expand on our fields. The kind of issue would be is we're already going to be into the month of May, so planting season is pretty much over. So buying the fields and expanding on what we want to plant may have to wait. So maybe what we'll do is when the fall comes and we earn some money selling some products, maybe we'll buy some more land then. I mean, at some point, you do got to pay off that loan little by little. Lift up the planter. You got a couple of spots to touch up. And now that Frank Jr. has done the headlands over there, looks like he's getting along well going on a diagonal. I'm kind of hoping. You know what? We're going to go back to the farm and top off. I don't think I'll get it all. I was trying to think, do I have enough seed to get the carrots done in this field and that little patch over there and then do the sunflowers? Probably not. So we'll go back to the farm. We'll top this off. And that'll be all set for tomorrow. I'm not forgetting any other fields that I own, am I? Oh, wait. What is this right here? Why are you showing no growing there? It shows the sugar beets there. But it doesn't show that it's growing there. You know what it might be doing? And I probably shouldn't be doing this. I may have to convert this planter back over. Is because I got the mulcher on. Is it mulching the seed back out of the ground? Or is the map just glitching out on me? I don't know which it is. Well, we're going to put this down and go back over it. Alright, then I'm just going to stop. Oh, actually, before I go. Alright, so it is changing on the map. Just pick it right up off the ground. I think it's the mulching part is getting rid of the crop that's in the ground. So I need to change that back to just have it where it rolls. I thought mulching would be better for it, but then I realized mulching is really only for knocking down the crop that's in the field after our harvest. So yeah, does this field say like mulching? This says rolling, doesn't say mulching. I'm going to let you guys tell me if I should just leave it on or off. I mean, I think taking it off. But I mean, it's only going to affect where, like, I end the planting where it may ruin some of the crops. But if it gives me the 2.5% to mulch the field, if I take off the mulching part, I think I'm probably overthinking it currently. And I'm being the moron like I always am. Fertilizer and seed. Right, we are good to go. Cover that back up. And park that like right here for now. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fertilize the potato field that Frank Jr. is currently planting in. Got ourselves the New Holland 130. And I'm guessing if I fertilize the field and then he plants in it, I can go right back in after he plants it to fertilize it. So I think what we'll do is we're going to let him finish that field there, and I can fertilize that one after he gets done. And then I'll have to fertilize that one after the crop grows. I'm going to go fertilize the other potato field first, and then that way after he gets done planting, I'll see if I can jump back in there and fertilize again. I think that will work. And the only reason why it should work is Farming Simulator just wants to see the stage of the field change before you apply a second stage of fertilizer. So you just can't fertilize it and go back in the field and fertilize again. So by me fertilizing it, when the worker comes in and plants, it's changing the state of the field to planted, and then I should be able to fertilize again. So this was a field of potatoes last year, and it will be again. But we need double the amount of potatoes because we had way more oil than we had taters. But this year, well, we do have a canola field. We left that field that we purchased as a canola field. We left it as is. And of course, we're going to have the sunflowers again in the same field. Keep on making those potato chips. Kind of wish that you could not, make more than just potato chips. I mean, you can make fries. I mean, all different kind of potato products that are, fried. Deep fried. Depends on what you call them where you're from. But in America, we call them fries. You can even make potato wedges. And if you're not familiar with all these terms, you're like, what's he talking about? Well, Google it, I guess. And then he'd be like, no, down here we call them this or whatever. Either way, I'm getting it right for some people and wrong for others. So actually, I'm thinking the way the farm is currently set up, I think we got the right amount of tractors for what we have and what we need to get done. Got the nice 130 here. That'll get all the fertilizing jobs done. Lime spreading jobs, that's really what it's for. The Lamborghini is good for transporting smaller things. And also for getting, like, planting potatoes done. The New Holland T8 is good for grain transportation. Mowing the grass, picking up the grass to bring it down to the haymaker or the silo fermenter. Challenger is definitely doing its thing by planting. Of course, we know the truck what it does, but... yeah, that truck is a little bit too big for this map. Need to swap it out at some point once we get our funding down. And the Toasty Antonio Cario is doing its thing over at the vineyard. Leaving a little bit of a row of shame over here on missing spots everywhere. Little splash would do ya. This building just to our left, that is the chocolate factory, I do believe. Is it not? I kind of forgot what that is. That might be the chocolate factory where we're near. Chocolate production. Yes, it is. Don't think we'll actually get into that. Did I miss anything here? No, I think this field is all set. I can, while we're here as well, the cotton field is grown, so that should be able to take another fertilizing stage. And the last fertilizing stage that it needs. Let me get this to wider working with again. Can I get both ends here? Not quite. So we know what this is going to produce. It's going to produce one roll bale of cotton, and then the rest will have to sit into our John Deere harvester, which, as I said many times, it's overpriced for what it does. Any John Deere fans out there, I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that I can't unload. It's okay. It's not. You know, I don't mind the unloading part actually, for the most part. But also now I can't fold it back up and put it back into the shed where it should be. Yeah, I think I already know on the planter. So you can see where I got finished planting before. The crop is gone. So I got to get rid of that mulching part of it. So if you already left a comment down below, thank you. But I think we need to get rid of the mulching part of it. Of course, I can check the status of the field now that this has been mulched and rolled. I will check the status of the field. It should be at 100%, correct? Because we got 2 stages of the fertilization into it. And it's been rolled. And technically it's been rolled and mulched. So it should be at 100%. But we will need to expand on this cotton field down the road. Thing is, it's a long road. Looks like I got pretty much everything I need to with this field. There we go. Now if we look at the map, yep, 2 stages of fertilization. Yield bonus 98%. So do you only get the mulching bonus after the field has been harvested? And you got to mulch it with the stalks in it for it to count? But either way, I mean, we did roll and mulch this field while we were drilling, so yeah. So I'm trying to think of what the purpose is for having the mulcher on the drill. Unless what I'm supposed to do with the planter is go into a field and lower the planter, but don't turn it on, and that will mulch the field. But then, I'm trying to wrap this all around my head, but is there a way for me to turn it off, the mulching part, turn that off when I'm drilling the field? I got questions, and I don't have any answers on that part. I'm actually surprised the potato planter has not run out of seed yet. But looks like Frank Jr. is just about done. Alright, potatoes growing. I mean, it should tell me when I'm out of seed. I'm going to hop up here. Oh, you still got plenty of seed in there. Well, while he's finishing up, I think I'm just going to go and we're going to grab the planter, which I parked here. And I think I'll put the toolbox around the corner. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to convert this over. I hope they don't charge me because I've already paid for the mulcher and the rolling part. I did put the toolbox. Where did I put the toolbox? I don't remember where I put it. Well, it took me about 1 minute to remember. I was going to put the toolbox down here, but then I didn't. We're using our own workstation that comes here on the farm. So it's going to roll on downhill. And we'll convert this back over to where it just rolls. Oh, and guess what? We did run out of potatoes to plant the field. All right, that trigger is... No, that's the lights. That's the lights. That's the lights. Turn on shed lights. That repair button is here somewhere. There we go. I knew it was in that corner. Customize. So we just want... They're going to make me pay for it again. Mulcher and roller. I've already paid for it, so why can't we just take out the mulcher? Okay, it's $1,000. Whatever. We'll customize it. Kind of weird I got to pay for the roller again when it's technically already on the planter. Nope. Nope. You can turn the engine off. There we go. There, so our planter should be all set the way it needs to be. Yep. Almost had it completed. Well done, Frank Jr., though. Saved me a lot of work to get done here. All right, let's go back up to the farm. I think we got a little bit of free seed left on the racks. We'll grab that, and then we'll go over to the hut and fill up with the rest. And then we'll come back on down and finish off that potato field. Just gotta work our way around. I don't know if this is the way the layout of this farm is. If it's based on a farm and Johnny X Pro just copied it, per se, and made it that way, or did he design it on his own? Because it's kind of unique the way the farm is. Alright, that's all the seed that we have there. Let's go ahead and top this off. And needless to say, when I go plant the other field, I'm going to have to fill it up a couple times as well. But when I'm on that field, I just go on down to the store, because the store has a hut also. And that one is just a little bit closer. And of course, with the Lamborghini getting around like it does, only takes a minute or two to go down and come back. Takes a minute to unfold, though, doesn't it? Okay, get the corner done. Now, being next to the beehives, we should get a little bit of a bonus from the bees. I'm just going to check the corners around here to see how Frank Jr. did. And Frank Jr. did a nice job in that corner. Did a pretty good job on that corner. That just leaves the top of the hill, where for for some reason, he did miss a decent-sized section over here. And there we go. No sense of folding it up because I can get to the other field without having to fold it on up. But the potato field's done. We got our sugar beet field in as well. So basically, we just gotta, you know, I can either plant the potatoes this month or next month. But we do have, of course, carrots to go in here, sunflowers to go in there, and then over by the vineyard, we're gonna be planting some red beet. And that will be done with the planting, I do believe. I think all the other fields are all set, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that field here, the 2 fields. Yeah, this is the other potato field that we got to do. Like I said, carrots and sunflowers. Put it on this map here so we can see the crops are growing. Yep, we are good there. And then, of course, way over here somewhere, there we are. This is where the red beet will go. And, of course, the vineyards will always look like they're growing anyways, for the most part. But 2 fields down. A couple more fields to go. And then we'll have a look at maybe what's time to sell some stuff. And bring a little bit more money on in. But that's where we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. And I'll catch you again right here in the hills of Tuscany. But until then, have a good one.